Hi there. My
Hi.
name my name is Sean Donahoe, and this is my wife, Kimberly Roos Donahoe. We've been married for 7 years, but we didn't get a honeymoon. But we're going to back up and tell you our story a little bit so that it makes a little bit more sense. So I first met Kim about 21 years ago when my best friend from the University of Kansas was marrying her best friend from the
University
University
of
of
Nebraska.
Nebraska. So we were at their wedding, and it was up in Vail, Colorado, and it was about a 3-day ordeal. And I got to know Kim so well and just really just fell in love with her. She was the prettiest girl, so funny, and also the best dancer that I'd ever seen. Now, the issue was that Kim was engaged at the time. So we had this wonderful experience. We're there for 3 days, and I just said, you know what, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So at the reception, at the wedding, I walked up to Kim and I said, listen, we have this unbelievable chemistry. We should be together. Why don't you break your engagement and date me? And Kim said,
Kim was very taken with Sean, but also was very happy with her fiance and had been with him for 2 years, but was sort of blown away by the chemistry that I did have with Sean. And so when he asked me if there's any way that I would call off the engagement and date him, which I thought was wonderful and I appreciate it very much, I said, no, my invitations are already printed. But I said, boy, I wish I could have a do-over on this because I would love to go out with you. But instead, I was faithful and true to the man that I loved, and for 2 years, or had loved for 2 years. And so we were engaged and we were married 3 months later.
right. So Kim and I obviously kind of lost touch. I was in the hotel industry, and so was living in a lot of different places. And I think I came back maybe once or twice to Denver to visit my friends and had the opportunity to see Kim, but it was always just very briefly. And
Yeah, Sean was traveling the world and I was having babies.
right. So I had been traveling and was living down in Jamaica for a little while doing a hotel development project and had just moved back to the States. And I got a call from the couple, the Steve and Betsy, the wedding where we met. And Betsy said, hey, you're not going to believe this, but Kim got a divorce. So I was like, wow, I hadn't thought about Kim for 8 or 9 years. And I said, you know what?
2 or 3 weeks.
Or, no, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
So I decided to fly out to Colorado. And so I came out to Colorado, and Kim walked in the room, and she was still as beautiful as I ever remembered, still with her sparkling, unbelievable personality. And we fell back in love. And
That day, it was so strong. It really was. That very day you walked in the room and I was like, I'm in trouble because this is it.
So we dated long distance for about 1.5 years, and I moved out to Colorado. We got married. I moved out to Colorado.
You moved out to Colorado, and we spent 4 years. Actually, you were in Colorado for 4 years before we got married, and we really wanted you to know the kids.
Right.
And to really learn how, or to really truly become a father with them before we got married. So that's
true.
exactly what we did, and boy, did he become a great father.
So let's get to the reason why we're sending this video to you.
So obviously this is 21 years in the making. Here we finally get our day. We're so excited. We don't know what to do with ourselves.
Right.
We've got our entire family in town, all of our friends, and I go and I get my hair and makeup done, and I'm giddy. So I come back and my 4 sisters are there, and Max and Gabby, our kids, are there, and we're all getting ready to go to the hotel to have some champagne and take pictures, and we're so excited.
Yes. So I had just come back to the house to pick up my tuxedo shirt, was upstairs, and I heard this huge commotion outside, yelling, screaming, and I'm trying to stay calm, and I'm like, man, I don't want to walk out and see what happened. I have no idea, but whatever. And then all of a sudden...
So meanwhile, we were packing up the car, and I had a few items. Of course, I had forgotten a few things, and I was running around. So I had a few items, run out to my car, lean down, all the way down on the ground to get the items, pack them in the suitcase. And sure enough, I stand up and my sister doesn't see me and she shuts the trunk door on my face.
On her face.
As I stand up.
On her face.
2 hours before we're getting married.
Yes.
Right here. Right here.
So Kimberly walks up the steps and she walks in the room and she's about ready to lose it. And her eye is starting to pop up and swell like there is a small orange coming out of her cheek. And I was like, babe, we get married in 2 hours. Go put some ice on it because we've got to go through with this today. And we did. So while we're doing our wedding vows on the altar,
and my eye is swollen
poor
shut.
Kim, her eye is now completely swollen shut. So I'm looking at her and I just felt so sad. So it was just I felt bad for her, but she was such a trooper. So instead of going on a honeymoon or going up to the mountains the very next day, well,
I was getting a CAT scan and an MRI done because my face was so bad. And we'll show you a picture of it.
Right.
But my face was so bad. And obviously during the wedding, swollen shut. But the next day, the swelling, and the picture doesn't even do it justice. But the swelling was all over this side of the face. And the bruising started going over this side of my nose and all the way down and under my cheek. So we were supposed to head up to a beautiful honeymoon up in the mountains for 5 days, but instead I had to go to the hospital and get an MRI and a CAT scan. And luckily enough, things weren't quite as bad as they seemed like they were, so I started to heal quickly.
I'm going to try to show you a picture. It's on the computer. It's probably not going to give this justice, but here was poor Kim the next day with her eye. I know you're not going to be able to see that, but almost.
No, here, turn it all the way around.
Oh, no, I can't.
So they can see.
No,
Oh, yeah, there you can see.
Oh, there we go.
And so there
That's
you
her
go.
big shiner.
That's my big shiner, the day of the wedding. Actually, that shiner is the day after at our little party.
So we're sending this video. We didn't get to do our honeymoon after our 21 years of, what would you call it? Of waiting, or 21 years of waiting. We'd love to do a honeymoon. So we're sending you this.
And one other thing, just to tell you how wonderful he is, the year after our wedding, instead of deciding to do a honeymoon, we went to Walt Disney World because he really wanted to integrate the kids into the marriage. So that, we did take a little trip, but we took a trip with Max and Gabby.
That's right. So thank you very much. We look forward to hearing back from you.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye.